Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here with some news about The Walking Dead Season 10. And we have some information, some more new details about the whole romance between Michonne and Ezekiel, and then also how Carol could be involved in this. So we're going to break it down. Angela King had an interview with TV Line, and she gave some awesome details. So we're going to break it down in this video. Before I do begin, though, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to hit the subscribe button, because now we're getting closer to The Walking Dead Season 10. And they've been dropping information, new information every single day. So we're going to be covering it on this channel, so be sure to subscribe. But with that being said, let's get into it. So yeah, one of the things that a lot of people have been talking about ever since the trailer dropped in July is that sequence in the trailer where we had Michonne and Ezekiel kissing. It definitely caught some people by surprise. In the moment, it does make sense because it happens in the comics. Rick's been missing for a very long time. And now, we saw what happened at the end of season 9 with Carol and Ezekiel having a breakup. So this is why Carol is also involved in it. But let's get into it and read the article and break it down. So starting off with this report from TV Line that says, The Walking Dead showrunner Angela King freely admits that there is a certain amount of stuff in Season 10 that has to do with illusions or flashbacks or dreams, things like that. But Michonne's romance with Ezekiel, foretold not only by the AMC's drama's Comic-Con trailer, but Robert Kirkman's source material isn't one of them. We are seeing a moment this really does happen. So I guess what's going on here is that since The Walking Dead Season 10 trailer had some confusion because there was some stuff that looked like to be illusions or flashbacks or dreams. I know one thing for certain is that sequence in the trailer where we have Carol hallucinating Henry, because Henry is there. He's kind of covered in blood, so obviously that is like 100% of a hallucination. So Angela King is like admitting it here, and that could be a discussion on its own, but it looks to be some sort of confusion about what's real and what's not. So Angela King came out and said that yes, that moment between Ezekiel and Michonne really did happen, and they are having a romance in season 10. I never really had a doubt about those two being together, like that was like a fake scene or something. I mean, they could shoot fake scenes, but she has confirmed it here, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, moving on, some other things that Angela King said was, the characters have always had a respect for each other, she adds. They like each other, and their relationship feeds into the journeys they're on this season. I also like how she brought that up because, King Ezekiel is not like a type of person to start beef with anybody. He respects people, and even though, he was the guy who was like telling people not to call him king anymore after a while, and he really respects people. He's a great leader. I'm sure he has a ton of respect for Rick, so he wouldn't do that. So obviously, 6 years is a lot of time. So I'm kind of curious because there was nothing in season 9. I am curious to see what happens between season 9 and 10. I don't know if they're gonna have a romance like immediately. I'm assuming they will, because I don't know if the show has the time to kind of show their romance, like them building up to the romance. Only because we have a whisper war going on, and the whole silence the whispers and the drama between the communities. I think since there is going to be a bit of a time jump between season 9 and 10, like a couple months, I'm assuming there's going to be the romance will be there, when season 10 picks up. Alright, now moving on to the Carol stuff. This is what they had to say about that. So, although Ezekiel's path will converge with Michonne's when the show returns Sunday, October 6th, that doesn't mean that he's entirely out of his ex Carol's life. On the contrary, the kingdom's former leaders will have a really interesting ongoing storyline this season, Kang says. The two of them are kind of on their own realms, both alone in their grief over son Henry's beheading, yet it's like they need people and each other. So that's a really interesting point that you brought up there, saying that they're both alone in their grief, because this could be like the product of both these characters grieving. We know what happened to Michonne. We know what happened to Rick and how that has a big effect on Michonne. She spent a lot of time looking for Rick, but maybe, with all this drama with the whispers now, this could be the product of, Michonne just sort of, maybe Ezekiel is there to comfort her or something like that, and then that would kind of start the romance. Same thing with Ezekiel, is that he's grieving over Henry, and now Carol left him, and this might be something that isn't like 100% love. Because if Michonne finds out about, Rick, I'm sure, since she spent like 6 years looking for Rick, I'm sure she's gonna want to go find Rick. So I don't know if these two characters like really love each other. Maybe they're is just like in the moment because they're both grieving. And I know some people, I know that's like a big thing with the romances in The Walking Dead. Some people want Carol and Daryl. Some people want Carol and Ezekiel. I don't know how people feel about Michonne and Ezekiel. I know like everybody really likes Michonne and Rick, so I don't know what people feel about this. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know like who you want to see people with. Like, do you would you like Michonne and Ezekiel together, or would you prefer Ezekiel with Carol? I know some people really like Carol and Daryl. For me, it's always been Ezekiel and Carol. I never saw Carol and Daryl as like a relationship, more of a friendship. And those two are also spending a lot of time together this season. But it looks like based on the stuff we're seeing in the trailers and stuff, it looks like a friendship. It doesn't look like a romance or anything like that between those two. So, I hope I kind of like it that way. I don't want them to start a romance between those two, and then they go back to being friends, because I think Ezekiel and Carol are gonna get back together. I don't think they're just gonna be that's it and then they're done. Those two. At least I hope not. But one thing I am worried about, and you guys can let me know in the comments down below if you feel the same. Do you guys think Ezekiel will die this season? I recently posted my predictions, my death predictions for the Whisper War, and I said Ezekiel will be safe because Carol and Maggie are both, or excuse me, Rick and Maggie, and now Michonne, the main leaders of these communities, they're all gonna be gone now. So are they gonna kill another leader? I said no. But you know how The Walking Dead works. Characters, when one character dies, it's gonna have a huge effect on another character. And right now, based on that trailer, it looks like Carol isn't like 100% certain that she wants to be in the Whisper War. Remember, her and Daryl are kind of like talking about possibly leaving and stuff like that. So Ezekiel's death could possibly change that. If Carol doesn't want to be in the Whisper War, and then Alpha somehow ends up killing Ezekiel, that would be a game changer for Carol. She would definitely want to go fight after that, because that would mean Alpha killed, Henry and Ezekiel. So that could be it, potentially. I really hope not, though. I'm just saying that's definitely a huge possibility. Something big has to happen in order, because that's how The Walking Dead kind of works. Characters don't want to fight until someone, close dies. And we know Henry already died because of Alpha, but if, based on that trailer, I'm assuming Carol doesn't really want to fight right now. So I think something else has to happen, and Ezekiel potentially could die. The only reason I said I don't think he will die is because I don't know if The Walking Dead, I don't know if AMC would want to kill Ezekiel after all these other characters leaving. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Ezekiel will die, or what do you think is going to go on? What's going to change, Carol's mind about Ezekiel, or it might not even, maybe Carol doesn't even want to change her mind, or, maybe those two just, are separate, forever. I mean, I hope not, but that could happen. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they come back together, and then Michonne would go off and go look for Rick. That would be like the perfect scenario, but we'll see if that does happen. And then the last thing Angela Kang said was, I don't want to say too much beyond that, she continues, but there's some real loveliness and complication that's very human between them that hopefully will be satisfying for people to see unfold. So when it comes to the characters being happy, that's always pretty much important. I think fans like seeing the characters happy. But when it comes to the complications, it looks like how she mentions that there's going to be complications. She did say it's going to be satisfying, which is also interesting. But I do think this may potentially drive the characters apart. And I really hope like Carol doesn't have like a grudge on Michonne or vice versa and stuff like that. But it might happen, because these characters, and it does suck because the same thing kind of happened after Rick left, but it's going to be like two different situations. When Rick left, the characters were just trying to survive and live. Now I think it's going to be more personal, and that might be an issue for the first few episodes. But I think once the Whisperers strike again, or somebody ends up dying because of the Whisperers, I think they're going to come back together and fight. Because in that trailer, we saw Carol, confronting Alpha. So I think there's going to be issues like maybe in the first like 1 or 2 episodes. But after that, I think they're gonna get back together and fight. You know, those trailers contain like only the first couple episodes anyway, so we saw a lot in that trailer. So I'm assuming when the season picks up with the time jump, all this stuff is gonna be going on, their romances and stuff like that. But after the Whispers strike, maybe episode 2 or 3 or something, then you know the characters are gonna decide like, okay, we can't just be personal about this anymore. We gotta come together and fight. But yeah, it looks like there is gonna be some drama going on in the first few episodes. You guys let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and opinions about it. I just wanted to quickly make this video talking about the stuff that Angela Kang said. I am gonna wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I'll leave the article in the description down below if you want to go check it out. Again, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. And for more Walking Dead videos just like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.